Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dokkan battle video, and today we're going to take a look at STR Ultimate Gohan and his new EZA that just came out on Global and JP at the same time. I think this guy's going to be pretty good, and I already feel like some people are maybe underrating him a little bit. I feel like he's better than people think, and one thing I really appreciate about this Gohan that I really like, and we'll talk about in the showcase, but I really like his leader skill. His leader skill just being hybrid Saiyans, which we all know how busted hybrids are. With how defensive a lot of the hybrids are, it's probably the most defensive team in the game. I think I did do a video on my channel previously, and I declared them the best defensive team in Dokkan. Well, now they just got better with the full 170 lead. Sure, it's not a 200% lead, but full 170 is still definitely good enough to run. And I think the thing that might get overlooked with this guy is he's actually a support unit, especially depending on what units you put on his team. And everyone that's seen my videos knows and looked at my team building guides, my favorite leaders are the ones that are also support units, because then you have the flexibility to, say, run this Gohan on rotation, or you could have him float, and as a floater, he's not going to be a detriment to the team. He's going to be helping the rotation, and then you could have the freedom to just build 2 rotations out of your box and not have to depend on the leader as being basically the focus of the team. So we'll talk about that as we go on, but let's look at his passive here now that he's got his EZA, right? So his super attack effect is greatly raises defense for 1 turn, greatly raises attack, and causes immense damage to the enemy. So that's very good. He's basically stacking attack infinitely, and then he's getting that great defense raise. So I do feel like additionals are kind of the way to go with this guy, because you want to focus on getting that double defense raise, which will really help him out, especially if he's guarding. But then with that attack raise over the length of an event, he's going to get to some really nice high attack stats, which is good. So here's his passive. He's attack and defense 158 at the start of turn. Super class allies defense 50%. So like, no matter what team you're using him with, he's always a 50% defense support, which is really, really good, right? But then he does 2 key and attack plus 30% for entrusted will super class allies. So the thing is there are a lot of good hybrid Saiyans that are also entrusted will. So we'll look at my team build here, but basically I built it so that at least the on-rotation units are all in Trusted Will, so that when this guy is floating around, he's basically a 2-key, 30% attack, and 50% defense support. That's a really good support passive for a unit that's also going to be hitting really hard and is going to be guarding quite a bit and has additionals built in his kit. He's a really good unit. Like, I really like him, right? So let's read the rest of his passive here. So outside of the support passive, he also has a high chance of guarding. Now, I know people don't like the high chance of the guard. I agree with that. I wish it was just guaranteed, or if they built him, like, what if, because you can tell ever since Tech Ultimate Gohan, they are extremely afraid just to give units unconditional guard, right? It's very rare that that happens. But I think what they did with STR Gohan, I think, is a good compromise, where it's like, give them guaranteed guard for a set number of turns, and then if you can fulfill a condition within those turns, then it becomes permanent. So like the Gohan, it's like, yeah, get hit 6 times in 2 turns and we'll give it to you for the rest. But you at least have the 2 turns where you know you've got it, right? If they had done something for this guy where it was just like, give him guard for, like, 3 to 5 turns, and then if he takes so many hits or something, then give him the guard for the rest of the fight. I thought something like that could have been good, right? But they do give him a little bonus. So 4 turns after the turn where he guards for the first time, he gets guaranteed guard, and he launches an additional that has a high chance of becoming a super for 4 turns. So what's better about this guy than like your average unit that has a chance to guard? At least, like, let's say you're doing a hard fight, right? That maybe, like, it could be red zone, could be a legendary Vegeta event or something like that. But let's say earlier on an easier stage where it's not as risky, you don't know if you have guard. Well, once you get hit, you'll see that you have the guard, and then you'll know, like, hey, for the next 4 turns, now I'm safe. So at least you can do some planning with this guy. Whereas if he was just always had a chance to guard, you just never know if you have it or not. So I do like that he gets guaranteed guard for 4 turns once he guards at least once. The other thing you can count on as well is if this guy takes an attack from a physical unit, you know he's going to guard no matter what. And then that would activate his guard. So let's say you're doing a hard fight where an earlier phase has a physical unit, you know that you can set up this Gohan to get the guard and then get the guaranteed additionals. And so to me, this Gohan is better than other units that have a chance to guard just because of that effect there. But I think his guard still could have been a little bit better, right? So I like that they gave him the additionals because that's going to help him stack more defense. It's going to help him stack more attack and become more powerful that way, right? So mine is built 20 crit, 11 additional. I built that crit a long time ago, at least the 20 crit part of it. I probably would balance it a little bit more and give him more like 15 additional, probably in that range. I feel like I would have given him 15 additional and then maybe even more with his equipment there, right? But mine is darn near full level 10 links. I'm like 3 links away, but I just wanted to get the showcase out. So this is fairly equivalent to what a full level 10 link Gohan would look like. The friend unit I brought in is a rainbow full level 10 links. You're going to kind of get to see them both kind of roll there. But let's look at the team build here. So we're running the 2 Gohans as lead, right? And once again, because he is a support unit, I can be flexible with it. So obviously, since we are showcasing this one, we're going to run him on rotation with Tech Ultimate Gohan. As bad as Tech Ultimate Gohan's links are, this STR Gohan is his best linking partner. So they're going to be sharing 4 links at the start. And then if I transform the Tech one, then they're going to share 5. And considering how wonky the link set is, getting 5 links from one unit is actually pretty darn good. So we'll take that. Not to mention, what is it? Let me see. If we can get Cold Judgment active, that's really good as well. Although I don't know that this one has Cold Judgment. Let me double check. Yeah, so this one doesn't have Cold Judgment, but some of our floaters will. So we'll get Cold Judgment maybe with some of the floaters on the Tech Gohan to really help his defense out. But once he stacks enough, it doesn't really matter, right? So then we're going to run this guy as a support. Remember, this is a Goku family or Vegeta family, 40% support. And then we got this guy supporting. And then my other rotation, I'm actually going to run these 2 Trunkses. And both of these Trunkses are Entrusted Will. They're not like the craziest linking partners, but I think they share like 3 links. And then when the Agent 1 transforms, he adds another link or 2 with this one. So they're good enough. And I really like this Tech Trunks, and I'm always looking for reasons to run them. So I think this is a really good setup. But there's a lot of good, like if you like Super Trunks, you could run him as an Entrusted Will. There are some other Gohans. Like I didn't even put AGL LR Gohan. He's actually a really good slot in on this team. It's just I've been using him so much. And because he's on the 200% leader skill for the Goku Gohan and he's a good linking partner there, it's like that AGL Gohan is probably like one of the MVP units of the game in terms of just having a million categories. Like you can use him everywhere. He's pretty good. He's aged really well. So the fact that people are talking about him maybe getting an EZA coming up is actually kind of crazy to me, but I still would not be surprised, right? Okay, so enough jabber jawing here. Let's get into the showcase. So I'm actually going to float mine off rotation because I've got Tech Ultimate Gohan on the second rotation. So start of turn defense about 200k, right? 200k doesn't sound crazy, but they remember Ultimate Gohan gets a great defensive raise on Super, which I believe is a 50% raise. And then he's also could be potentially guarding, right? So we're looking at potentially a 300k defense stat after supering with guard, which isn't bad at all. Okay, and you see the attack stat, they're not the craziest, right? Like, what was that, like a 3 or 4 mil attack stat? But once again, remember that we're not optimally linked up yet, and he's an attack stacking unit. So he's going to look more impressive as the fight goes on. Now, the Gohan we're showcasing is going to be a little bit behind because we had to float him off there. But we'll get him back, and we'll look at the friend one for a couple turns, right? So what we'll do here is we'll have Tech Ultimate Gohan linked up with this unit, which does have Cold Judgment. So we'll just go ahead and let Tech Ultimate Gohan start to stack his stuff up and start to get him looking crazy. But you can just build some crazy defensive wall teams with this hybrid Saiyan skill. The other unit that I didn't put on here is the AGL Garlic Jr. Gohan. He's also a really good hybrid Saiyan. I don't think he's on Entrusted Will, but he's also like a defensive support that you could float him if you wanted to. And there are some, he needs to be, like, to get his full potential, he has to have a Heavenly Events unit around him. But there are actually Heavenly Events units like Super Trunks that you could run on this team if you wanted to get that active, right? So, speaking of Super Trunks, by the way, people have been wondering, like, what the Part 2 LR could be. And someone had suggested, I think it was Ningen it was Ningen or Gale I was talking to, that said they thought, like, Super Trunks is a possibility, and I agree with that. I think what they actually could do is, you know, we just got that Goku exchange in the Gohan. What if they just did a parallel unit that was Super Vegeta exchange in the Super Trunks? Like, I think that could be a really cool LR. The only thing could be is maybe they want to save that for a Dokkan Fest. But I think that could definitely be a possibility. All right, so the friend Gohan, actually the friend Gohan now can float. And we'll, I mean, this Trunks rotation's pretty good, right? Like, I could just keep these guys going. The STR Trunks, though, I do want him to float as support. But for now, we'll get a turn of this Tech Trunks linking up real well with this support Trunks. And what's the friend Ultimate Gohan? Yeah, 174k defense. We dipped a little bit on the defense there, but still decent enough, right? After supering a lot better. I think STR Gohan in slot 1, maybe not the best idea in like red zone or something, but like 200k starter turn, if he's guarding, is actually good enough for like most hard events for at least tanking normals. But I think you're going to want him in slot 2 because you want to get that great defense raise before he takes a shot, right? So there we go, the friend unit at 4 mil. So I think the first attack was like 3.5 or something like that. So 4 mil, not the craziest, but once again, and there's an additional. And, oh, I didn't even pay attention, but he could have, this could be from the passive. I didn't pay attention to if he was guarding or not, but he may have gotten guard on that first turn. So that could have either been hidden potential or that could have been just from his passive. All right, so let's look at my Gohan now. This is the one we're really showcasing here. So you can see we got 4 links active with Tech Ultimate Gohan before transforming. We're at 209k defense start of turn. So once again, we're going to attack. We're going to get the great defense raise, which will put us over 300k defense. And we're going to find out very quickly if we guard or not. So we have type disadvantage here, so it's going to be pretty obvious to tell if we're actually guarding or not here. So let's see. Once again, there's our 4 mil attack stat. Not the craziest, but once this guy builds up a little bit, he's going to be, oh, all right, let's see. Do we got the guard? Up arrow means, I think that was actually, I don't think we had the guard there. I think the up arrow, I'm getting all crazy now, but I think the up arrow, well, here, we'll see. Yeah, so down arrow would have been guard. I'm just trying to think, like, from my perspective, up arrow would have been good, but it takes it from the attacker's perspective. So yeah, that was typed, so we did not get the guard there. Luckily, Gohan's defense was just straight up good enough to tank it. That's not going to happen if that were a red zone super attack. We would have been toast. So that, I get, is definitely the bad part about the Gohan, right? All right, so let's do this Trunks rotation. So you can see they're not sharing as much, right? Only 3 links. There, of course, I could do this and then give this guy like all the links, but I kind of like this. We'll get Cold Judgment active in the middle there. I like that. So, and I always like to prioritize the Tech Trunks because he's one of those attack and defense stacking for like 6 turn type units. You really want to keep him going. So he's at like 219k defense, but he's going to get more defense on super here. Okay, so we'll do that and we'll do that. And the other reason I like that STR Gohan has that kind of entrusted will in there, it does give me a reason to want to use the AGL Trunks more, because he's a unit that I literally was just sitting on my bench. He's a unit that I didn't really pull that hard for. I just happened to get really lucky and get him on like the tickets or whatever. But now it's kind of nice to use him more and get to play around with him a little bit more. Okay, so what we'll do, like I could transform Tech Ultimate Gohan right now and like add a link, but we'll let Tech Ultimate Gohan stack, 400k defense already. We'll let him stack just a little bit more before we transform, and maybe we'll catch it on the next turn. So 215k starter turn defense. The attack stat should start the rise, hopefully when you hit a guard here. Because once again, once we have that guard, then we know it's guaranteed for the next 4 turns, and we're getting additionals from the passive. And so then he has the potential to triple super. Shoot, I didn't, I missed the arrow. I don't know if I don't think we guarded there. I'll have to double check. We'll see what happens on the hit after. And if we get additionals, or yeah, I don't think we guarded. Yeah, we didn't guard. So unfortunate, we're getting unlucky with the guard there. The friend unit might still have their guard passive, but since we floated them, they probably don't. This will definitely guard. This is why Tech Ultimate Gohan is so crazy, because you just know you're guarding all the time. And I do think that that's why Dokkan is super afraid of it now, because I don't think they realized how busted it was when Tech Ultimate Gohan released. And over time, just how he has aged. Like, I think Truth just put out a top 10 list, and Tech Ultimate Gohan is still on that top 10 list for, like, best TURs in the game. And I agree with it. Like, this Tech Ultimate Gohan is still a top 10 TUR in the game just because of unconditional guard, and he stacks defense. I think that's what people wanted out of STR Ultimate Gohan, is I kind of wish he was the reverse, where he did a great raise for 1 turn on attack and then stacked to defense. I really would have wanted that. And he still, like, I think if they had given him defense stacking, he still wouldn't be as good as Tech Ultimate Gohan, because Tech Ultimate Gohan does that while guaranteed guarding, and the STR one doesn't, right? So I don't see why they couldn't have done that. All right, so yeah, about 300k defense now for the Tech Trunks. The thing is, it's getting to the point almost where like 300k defense like isn't impressive enough, right? Because that's not going to be enough for red zone. Like, the power creep is crazy that like your defense has to get to like such an insane level. I even had like the new STR Gohan in the Legendary Vegeta event, right? And one instance I had him with his guard active, and he's got like 600k defense when he's fully built up or whatever after supering, and he took like under 100k damage when guarding. But then when his guard wasn't active, since it was type disadvantage, he took like 600k and got one shot, like took a ton of damage, and that was with still having like 600k defense. So like these bosses be hitting pretty hard in difficult content, so you got to really be up there, right? All right, well, Tech Ultimate Gohan about 600k defense. Let's transform. All right, we'll get a little bit more linkage going on here. So now, yeah, we got 5 out of 7. So we're only missing Z Fighters and Saiyan Lineage, so not too bad, right? The nice thing, what's really nice about this team, right? Because Tech Ultimate Gohan in the past, here, we'll get the attack stat quick, but yeah, 200k defense. Tech Ultimate Gohan, as many of you know from running him, he's a unit and a lot of team comps struggles for ki, right? But now with this STR Ultimate Gohan as the leader, this STR Gohan's gonna be running. We're at 5 mil attack, by the way, so because we're stacking, so he's looking pretty good. Over 300k defense. Hopefully we can get guard. Well, actually, I didn't check if we guarded. I'm just talking right away, but you guys saw whether I guarded or not. So we'll see next turn if I had that guard or not. But with this team, you can see ki is not a struggle at all, because we basically just like have a constant flow of STR Gohan and other supports that are giving 2 ki or more to the whole rotation while getting some links. Like, it's just impossible to miss supers now. Whereas Tech Ultimate Gohan and other team comps, it can be really tough to super with them, because depending on what you have for linking partners, right? So yeah, we're over 300k defense now with this Tech Trunks. You can see linking up a little bit better. We're getting 4 links with the transformed AGL Trunks. And then the friend unit, yep, 169k defense. That's because there's less support on this rotation. But I think when you have him properly supported, 200k defense is a pretty reasonable starter turn defense to expect. The other thing to keep in mind with this STR Gohan is the opportunity to run him on it. This is not a 200% lead, right? So there's 60% more stats on the table from what you're seeing here. So just imagine the numbers you're seeing plus an extra 60% from the leader skill. It's even more impressive. But I do like this Gohan. I agree he's not like the perfect unit. But with his attack stacking, he has enough defense that he's really good with the guard if the guard is active. I do like that. Once you kind of see that guard hit, you know you've got it for a few turns, and I like that he's got the additionals with it. So I do think this Gohan is actually quite a good unit. So here we're going to find out once again really quick if we're guarded or not. Yeah, look at the Tech Ultimate Gohan. 600k defense transformed, and he's stacking attack still as well. So I don't know if he's going to get to attack, though. He won't this turn for sure. I got to start not going so crazy on the previous turn. So my actual turn we're looking at. Okay, no guard again. Wow. Super unlucky with the guard here. Because his high chance to guard, I do believe, is a 50-50 shot. And we're losing that coin toss every single time so far, pretty much. All right, I didn't get the attack stat. We'll see it here when we come out of it. Or no, we won't, because we kill him. It was probably like just over 5 mil, somewhere in that range, 5.5 probably. All right, another Trunks rotation. Yeah, well, see, that's the thing is because I keep, UI Goku's going to survive, but I keep kind of going crazy here because I really want to keep supering with the Tech Trunks to keep his passive up. Our STR Trunks on the end definitely could take some damage, but we're not going to get one shot. We're going to be fine. All right, this shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, 100k is not that bad. I think after Super, that probably would have been double digits because he stacks defense on Super. So yeah, 5.6 mil. I mean, for this like crappy banner unit that's probably sitting in your box, to get his EZA and become actually like super viable, that's what I love about EZA, or when units like that just become so good and like you want to actually run them. I like that Tech Trunks quite a bit. All right, and now we know we're not going to take any supers here, which is good. So we'll definitely take that 100k shot. Okay, so we've got another double Gohan rotation here. All right, so hopefully we can get the guard to activate. But yeah, 215k defense. Remember, this isn't a bad rotation now because both of these STR Gohans are supporting 50% defense, 30% attack, and 2 ki. You can see we don't even have to touch an orb, and like everybody's at 12 ki. So like having all these Ultimate Gohans around is not a problem at all. That's why I love this STR Gohan as the leader, because of that support passive. So good. So good. All right, and let's see what our attack stats looking like now. We've stacked a little bit here. And we guarded. So now we're at 5.5 mil. And we guarded, so we've got a guaranteed additional coming, possibly a third from Hin potential. Yep, there's the additional, so now we're at 5.8. It's going to help his attack stack even faster. He's getting another defense raise, so now with the guard, he's basically unkillable. And we got a triple super at 6 mil. So we just did what, like a 18 mil attack stat that turn? Something crazy? We just decimated this Goku. So that was the turn I wanted y'all to see. That's where STR Ultimate Gohan's looking pretty darn fire. Pretty darn good. When you're getting the triple super, because here's the thing. When you're triple supering, it means you have guard active. And when you triple super with that defense raise, he's basically unkillable even in red zone at that point. So if you get that turn in red zone, you're going to be able to tank like Omega. Like, it's crazy. It's not guaranteed, right? It's definitely something that's like a chance, but I think it's definitely worth noting that Gohan has that in him. Ain't UI Goku will definitely smack us up pretty good here on the tech Trunks, but we're going to let it ride and just see what happens here. And we'll maybe just do one more turn. I think we've pretty much seen, yeah, of course, right out the gate. Type disadvantage, even with 300k, this is going to sting pretty bad because we're type disadvantage here. So what are we taking? 230k. I mean, for type disadvantage, that's not too bad. If we didn't have all that defense, we would have been one shot. And, you know, this Trunks isn't bad. The thing that's wonky about him is he's actually, like, kind of better non-transformed. Just because to look better transformed, the enemy has to be debuffed. But in long events, the enemies can't be debuffed. So you, like, never really get to see this guy at his best, which is pretty unfortunate. I did not like the design of that Super Saiyan Trunks, but I think the untransformed one is actually really good because he's got so many additionals. All right, so we'll make this the last turn for our boy STR Ultimate Gohan. We'll just let the turn ride out. If we die, we die. That's fine, but we're going to see his attack stat. But you can see the defense is really consistent. He's just going to be sitting in that 200k range. Once again, we should have guard active because we activated it next turn, so we should be seeing some additionals here as well. So it's nice to know that on this turn, we know we can count on it because we got it for 4 turns. And I believe last turn we had just activated it. Yeah, so 6.6. So once you get those additionals in, his attack starts shooting up like really fast. So give me another one. Yep, 6.9. So we're already up to like 7 mil. So that's about a 13 mil attack stat we've already put up this turn. Give me another one. We're looking at 20. Okay. But yeah, we're guarding this. So this isn't going to do anything because we double supered. Guaranteed double digits here with the guard. There's no way. Yeah, so yeah, there you go. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this STR Ultimate Gohan. I think he's actually one of the best TUR EZAs in the game. I don't know if I'm call him the best. I think Evolution Blue Vegeta might have something to say about that, but I think he's in the discussion for like top TUR EZA in the game. So let me know what you all think of STR Ultimate Gohan. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.